Good day, guys. How's it going, man? So yeah, we've had some interesting guests on our shows, and if you want to be a guest, let me know. I'm here to give everyone a platform in it, and when I have a guest, I'm not there to interfere too much. I might challenge their views a little bit in a friendly manner, but I want them to be themselves. I want them to express their views. I'm not here to belittle them or overpower them with my views or prove them wrong. At the start, I always say like that's their views, my views are different, and I also say well, it's common sense. My views, we're all product of environments. We all have our own experience, and our views might not be right, but they're the views at the time. And in the future, my views can change. In the past, my views were different, and my views now they could change in 10 years' time. And same with my guests and stuff like that. But I just my guests keep it real to themselves, and I'm just here to give them a platform. And I'm 43, man. I've seen the world. I know there's different opinions, different people, and I'm just here to show there's a vast variety of thinking, mindsets, and everything in the bund. And you can always learn from everybody. You can go to the pub and the most drunkest person, he will drop some gems, or she will drop some gems. They might chat a lot of dirty as well, but they will drop some gems. Do you know what I mean? A homeless guy on heroin, he will drop some gems that could save your life. There's a reason why he's ended up that way, and he might reveal boom, 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 and give you some gems and like, shit, man, okay, you just saved me a world of trauma. You know what I mean? Or you dropped some gems. So, yeah, so just wanted to clarify. I was just thinking about the talk yesterday, and I've been loads of Q&As on the messages and stuff. So promiscuous behavior, I want to talk about that because loads of people in the Q&As in inboxes are bringing that up. Like, what my views were, you didn't explain properly, this and that. You normally say something else, So I think, look, lust affects everybody, yeah, and it's pleasurable, and people like that pleasure. But I've always said men are hardwired a bit different from women. Women tend to need emotional attachment, and yeah, some women that just want lust and pleasure, they could be going through trauma, and it's a way of escape. Some could not be because Gurbani tells us lust and pleasure. Like, I've met all types of women in my life. I grew up in council states, and some of these girls didn't have trauma. They had a nice family and everything, and they were doing madness with boys. Doing shit in the slides and not doing a shit on the slide, but doing nasty shit, like dirty stuff with guys on the slide and coming back smiling, laughing, and that was great. And who's next and shit like that. So lust is just affects different people at different time. I agree that companionship, a lot of women look for companionship, and some men use for sex and stuff, but a lot of women are using men for money in return for sex. A lot goes on. It's complex. It's case by case, situation by situation, person by person, isn't it? When I generalize, I generalize. Normally, in my talks, when I talk about, just say, women, uh, I tend to normally talk about the experience I've experienced with like the most promiscuous women, but not every woman is on that low scale. Do you know what I mean? But a guy and a girl, if you act in a certain way, you will get categorized. So if you're acting very promiscuous and you're sleeping around and dressing off key and stuff like that, if someone does call you a slag in a hole, don't be surprised. And we know in Gurbani, Kanika the prostitute was saved. And yeah, it might not be right to call people slags and holes and stuff, but in anger, when you're arguing with somebody that you know, or sometimes you have to be a bit harsh and some verbal slaps. And sometimes people need to know what category they're in as well. You can't always be too nice in this world as well. That's my view, yeah? If your child's a thief, you're not going to beat around the bush and say you're not a thief. You just pick things up, don't you? So you're a dirty little thief, man. Stop that habit. Do you know what I mean? So there's all yeah. So in Gurbani, it tells us promiscuous behavior is always going to lead to pain. So this is why the modest dress says, the humble dress sense, both for men and women. But I will say, like we were saying in the talk yesterday, if a woman sleeps around, her values loses. But if a man sleeps around, People say, oh man, you slept with 20 girls. Oh wow, you're a bad man, you're a G. But for Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he's gonna see it the same for both. Like, you're my Sikhs, what are you doing, man? Keep your izzat, keep your honor. Izzat's a big thing. So me as a man, if my son was sleeping around, I feel a bit of pain. I like kanjar khanna and that. But if my daughter was sleeping around, I'd feel it a bit more emotional because I think women, they are, are more of the izzat. They hold more of the honor in a household. Now, is that me being old fashioned? I don't know why I think this way. I'm not saying there's a difference in behavior. I'll be upset at both my son and my daughter, but it will hurt me more if it's my daughter. Now, is that because I'm a man, or is it because I see my daughter as a princess? I would see her as like the pride, and is it because a woman lets somebody inside them and potentially impregnate them, and they should be more careful? I don't know what it is. It'd be quite good to discuss this in the comments. Is that sex discrimination, or is it just feel more emotional about your daughters and your sisters and your mothers because I feel they're the pride of a nation. If your women are not, I was gonna say in check, that's probably the wrong word, but if your women are living high dignity, high honor, as a man, as a banda, you can walk around with your head high. Like, look, our women are doing great. You feel pride. But if your women are doing dirty stuff out there, whether it's through trauma or not trauma or choice or whatever it is, then you have to walk with your head down. Do you get me? Like, if your daughter was the local prostitute, how are you gonna walk to the Gurdwara with your head high and be like, oh great? You're gonna feel a bit ashamed, innit? Do you know what I mean? Well, so if your son's the local heroin dealer or heroin addict, same thing. But yes, these are all things to think about. So we need to guide our children away from promiscuous behavior, but I see it increasing daily. I think we're going too liberal. Our older generation made mistakes. Like, it was hard for them, innit? Like, they had to marry people they don't fancy. We have a choice. We can say yes or no. We can get to know people. But dating is dangerous because one thing can lead to another, innit? Lust is powerful, innit? When you're dating, one little kiss, touch, this, that, leads to other things, leads to unwanted pregnancies. All sorts of shit happens, man. So that's why dating is kind of not recommended as well. It's complex, man, because if you don't get to know each other as a banga, if you get to know each other, physical things might happen. Then you don't even marry the person. That's another strike, innit? And that's more baggage, more aura, more soul contamination, more DNA exchange, whatever happens in it, aura exchange, energy exchange, whatever, and that goes with you. So yeah, if you read Gurbani and type in promiscuous behavior in Guru Granth Sahib search engines, the Guru guides us. He guides us. So it goes to both men and women, innit? But normally in society, if a man's walking with his top off, not many people are gonna stare or look. But if a woman's walking with a top off, everyone will look because more sensitive organs and stuff in it. And I think men are just more lustful than women. Is that a scientific fact? I don't know. From what I've noticed, but I've already hanged around with men. I've hanged around with some women and they say lustful stuff. Oh, I want to bang him. I want to do this. I can't wait till I get home. This and that. But normally they're more reserved, especially in our community. But I'm talking about when I grew up, I grew up Goli and Ghani and stuff like that. And but men, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna mess with that prosy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So I will say men are more lustful. I might be wrong because lust is a punch jaw, the punch jaw in all of us. But I think women, the anger is different as well. Like Suki was saying, anger's with the mouth more, innit? With men, it's more physical. So the five do manifest in us, but because of different hormones and that, they manifest in different ways. Like, yeah, there's some proper promiscuous women out there, and there's proper promiscuous men out there. There's nymphos in both set genders. The porn industry is full of both genders. Not everyone that indulges in lustful pleasures is gonna have trauma. Some might, some won't. So I just wanted to add that this little talk because I was just thinking about it and I was getting loads of questions, Q&As about this topic. Take care, people. See you later.